Hi Legion, John HIttler, co-founder of Evoking Genius and co-creator of the Genius Discovery Process with another edition of Pure Genius. Hey, you getting the most out of your millennials? Yeah, the ones that work for you, the ones you hired, the ones you have to clap for just to get them to walk across the room and not fall flat on their face? Yeah, those guys. That's the stereotype. We get this all the time from team leaders, from HR. They say, gosh, we got to train these guys, invest in them, and then they leave. They're there for 6 months, they jump, save the complaints. Here's what we're going to do today on Pure Genius. We're going to take on the idea of having your employees design and implement their own ambition, their own contribution, their own level of service, and you accept it versus the other way around. Ah, great idea, huh? Very short video today. Two ideas only. You only have to implement them, and you'll really help the productivity and the culture in your organization. Want to play? Great, let's spin the big wheel. Okay, first off, you may have heard it, it's becoming everyday news. Half of the workforce, 50%, will be millennials by 2020. That's not very far away. So you got to deal with this. And we don't mean to implicate all millennials. It's like saying all people of this type are good or bad or this, or all women are better drivers, or all men are better. No. There's good people, good service. But here's what we want to do. We want to raise the level of everybody in your organization. That's what we're going to do today. All right. Well, two ideas. First is mine. Second is a client of ours. His name's Josh. He runs a series of healthcare clinics in Las Vegas. His is the second one. Brilliant. First one, and it sounds so simple, hire right. Of course we hire right. Best and brightest. No. There's one secret, double secret probation question that you can ask that'll weed out people that you do not want in your organization. What? A secret you were on double secret probation. Remember in grade school? I was on it. I'm still on it. I've been on it my whole life. Here's the double secret probation question you want to ask every employee, especially millennials, the first one in the job interview. Hey John, we're glad you came in. Tell me about your last volunteer experience. I saw this on Craig. This was not a volunteer position. This is not an internship. This is a paid position, isn't it? They give you some answer like that, deep six them. What they're telling you in code is, I've never done anything for another human being or a cat or a dog my whole life without being paid for it. You don't want them in your organization. They'll wreck it. They'll absolutely wreck it because they don't have the ethic of service or contribution. Get it? They gave themselves away. Now here's the middle answer. This one's clever, but you'll have to flesh it out. Here's the one we get a lot, and we hear that agencies get a lot. Oh yeah, we in high school we did community service, and I coached on the playground, and I helped tutor in the classroom, and it was really kind of fun. I really kind of liked it. Now what's the problem with this as a volunteer opportunity? Motivation and ethic. Here's your follow-up question. Was the volunteer service required to graduate? Because the truth is, if they did the volunteer service only as a condition of graduation, what they're telling you is, I still won't do anything for anyone unless I'm paid for it. Because the pay was my diploma. And they said you had to do 20 hours, they said you had to do 30 hours. So I waddled down to the grade school and volunteered and tutored kids in math and science. It's okay that you did that, but the reason and the purpose matters. Now here's what we find, and the statistics that we've done, rather unscientific but anecdotal, 1 in 30 gives this type of response. Oh yeah, we had an opportunity in college. You could not go on spring break and go to Ecuador or go to El Salvador or go to Africa and work with kids in orphanages who don't have food and water. I was so much happier doing that than I was going to Fort Lauderdale or Cabo. Oh, well, tell me about that. Now, they'll tell you what they loved about it. What they're telling you is, I had a chance to go drink beer with naked people in Cabo for 2 weeks, and instead, I chose to serve my fellow man. That's the attitude, that's the culture you want in your organization. Hire that person, regardless of whether their skills are the best or better than what would appear to be better qualified candidates. Because it's easier to train someone with a service mentality than it is to train somebody who's really smart who doesn't get it about service. Why? Here's why. You learn service and you learn that ethic and that value as a kid. You learn it in your family to serve other people. You learn it as a kid to give back. You either have that at 22 or you don't. And people will do it because it's required. They don't do it with the same sense. And you want people to have a natural sense of helping when they enter your organization. So that's the first thing. When we say hire well using that double secret probation, double secret question. Use it first, weed out the 29 out of 30, and hire the one that's really got a service ethic. Okay, that'll solve most of the problems. You'll bring in good people to begin with, you avoid most of the problems, you push them away, and that'll solve most of your problems. But to the extent that you have people in your organization who seem to be kind of underperforming or mailing it in, they're not doing a bad job, but you think, gosh, they could do so much more. Here's what Josh, our client of ours in Las Vegas, told us. He brought in an hourly employee. He runs chiropractic in combination with fitness centers. So they do rehab and fitness, and then it's attached to a chiropractic clinic. Great business model. He's a great guy. Well, Josh, just so you know, I know this is your idea and you thought of it and you gave it to me, but since I'm on video first, sorry. But Josh is a service guy, so he doesn't mind that we share it. Here's what he did. He brought in an hourly employee, a lot of hourly employees in his clinics, and this lady's name was Amy. Amy was making $9.25 an hour. This was her 6-month review, so she doesn't get a pay raise increase until her annual review. But this was the 6-month check-in. So the question he asked her is, he's brilliant, absolutely brilliant. He said, Amy, you're making $9.25 an hour. I got a question for you. If I paid you $12 an hour, what would you take on that you're not currently taking on here? Terrific question. And you know why? It doesn't matter what she answers. Any way she answers it, Josh gets clarity, because Amy's either going to out herself good or out herself bad. Now, she did both, so perfect. Here's what she said first. Hysterical. Now, she's young and she just didn't see it. She said, well, if I paid you $12 an hour, I'd actually show up on time every day. What does showing up on time have to do with what you're paid? If you've got an 8 to 4 shift, shouldn't you be there at 7:55, ready to go at 8 o'clock? Absolutely you should. But she was casual about it because it was like, they're only paying me $9.25. If I get there at 10 after 8, it's not that big a deal. Unbelievable. Well, she showed her true colors, which is, I'll work harder if you pay me. Now, that was one thing. The second thing she said was even funnier. She said, I wouldn't call in sick as much. We're running healthcare clinics and you're faking calling in sick, and then we're short because we're a person down because you call in sick, and that gets cured because we pay you more? Again, she showed her true ethics. Well, then she also said, I could also take on this and I could do this. So she showed some ambition in what she could take on if she were paid more. But again, the nature of her answer was, I do the minimum necessary for what I'm being paid. Not the best ethic that you want in your organization. But she wasn't a problem employee. Josh just wanted her to take on more. He saw potential and wanted her to take it on. He was trying to push her and it wasn't working. So then he asked a second question. After $12, he said, well, Amy, what if I paid you $15 an hour? What would you take on then that you're not taking on now? Well, then it got interesting. She said, well, 15? Well, I see Todd struggle with a lot of this marketing stuff. He's not really good with the customers. they come in and they want to do certain, but he can't close them. I could definitely get a higher conversion rate on the customers. Certainly I can help with marketing. I'm pretty good on the computer. I can help them with some of the graphics and whatnot. I think we could do a much better job there. I'm sure I can help with that. Again, her answer revealed that she sees things that are missing in the organization, but she hasn't had the ambition to take them on. So perfect for Josh. What does Josh do? Josh goes, she's been here 6 months. She's shown that she's got some potential, but essentially she's announced to us in code that she will only work harder if we pay her. So what Josh said is, great, Amy, now you know your learning and growth platform in order to get a raise. Because remember, this was her 6-month anniversary, and the pay raise, possible pay raise, comes at a year. Josh left it up to her. Now, what he reported happily was, she got to work. She really stepped up because what she saw was potential to make more money and to contribute more and all that stuff. And generally speaking, she was a good worker. So she stepped it up, he recognized it, he wanted to keep her, so he paid her more. Had she mailed it in and said, I'm only going to take on this other stuff if you pay me, he would have just given her the least amount of pay increase he could have, and if she quit, she quit. Wouldn't have been a big loss. That's how you motivate people to step up, is you put all of the responsibility on them to create their own learning and growth platform. And then if they take it and design it and run with it, you reward it. You encourage it, you reward it, but they create it, you edit it. You don't create it, because when you create it, it's you pushing. See the difference? That's why it's so brilliant. Thanks, Josh, again for the great suggestion. So here's the deal. I coach CEOs, team leaders, entrepreneurs, and individuals to create lasting behavior change by making transformation safer and more attractive than standing still. You want to transform your employees' contribution and service levels? Have them design them and run towards them rather than you pushing them to do what you want them to do. Hey, I trust this was helpful today. If it is, like and share this with your network. You'll be doing them a favor when you do. Until we meet again on Pure Genius, all the best.